Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Untitled Tarot. Now this is a reading for the full moon in a Sagittarius / lunar eclipse for June the 5th, and this is a general reading that's looking at the interplay of energies that are around each sign. The way that they are embodied in my reading is the top row is seen as the archontic masks of the gods, those things that are trying to keep us separated from our divine self, and the bottom row of my cards are the actual gods, those beings who are trying to lift us up and reconnect us with the divine. Now, being 15 degrees of Sagittarius, so it's a midpoint degree, so right smack bang in the middle of the sign of the guru. So I think there might be quite a lot of, there's been an emphasis on a lot of the astrological movements recently, aspects I should say, about seeking out truth and personal truth. And the full moon in Sagittarius probably leaves us a little bit of a trap that we can be very, very assured in our truth. Now, I'm not going to discuss the astrology too much because I've already posted on the Facebook group, link down below in the description, at least 2 videos about this full moon. The first 2, Razalila Healing and Ksenia Moore. I recommend watching both of those. They can explain aspects of this full moon far better than I can. Now, this is a bulk introduction. There'll be a timestamp down below as well, so that you can watch more than one. And I recommend that you watch more than one. You want to watch your sun sign, obviously, but your rising sign as well, especially if you know what house Sagittarius is in for from your rising sign. And your moon doesn't go amiss, certainly not with a full moon reading. So 15 degrees Sagittarius. Now this full moon is a penumbral lunar eclipse, which means the Earth's shadow just slightly touches the edge of it, but it is nevertheless an eclipse, and therefore will have an effect at least a week beforehand and a week after is what I've heard to start off with, because it does get superseded by an upcoming solar eclipse. But eclipses effects can be a long time, and full moon eclipses or lunar eclipses are very much about bringing things to an ending and completion of things, but they are also abrupt changes. You can't necessarily always know how an eclipse is going to manifest apart from change. Change is definite. Now this eclipse forms a T-square to Mars and Neptune in Pisces. Mars is confused in Pisces at the moment. It's coming up to its conjunction with Neptune, where it gets a chance of being doused by the massive ocean that Neptune is. But it also, to me, represents action regarding your dreams and action regarding spirituality if you don't allow your Martian flame to be doused. Now, the T-square to Mars, and less so to Neptune, but still including, basically it's a very challenging aspect, but it does give a potential for success. Now, what I'm even more interested in is the fact that this is less than 1 degree off from the galactic center. So the day after these videos are released, I should be releasing my lunar galactic downloads, where we've got the galactic center download energy coming through the moon, but under the power of a full moon. This lines up immediately with the Great Attractor, which is a force out in the universe which is pulling multiple galaxies after it, including our own. It's been observed, as in seen, that the galaxies are being pulled, but it's not been observed in and of itself, so it's indicating that it's very, very, very far away. But to be demonstrating an effect over multiple galaxies indicates, well, quite a lot of power. And of course, every time that we conjunct with the galactic center, the Great Attractor is right behind it. So it may be that just as the moon translates the galactic center energy, the galactic center may well be translating the energy of this Great Attractor, whatever it is. Now I'm going to read, I think I'm going to read the inside degree. What really got me was the Omega symbol, and I found a document with all the Omega symbols on them. I have yet to find out what the Omega symbols are, but it is a magician's wand sprouting golden leaves. What we set into motion now, as long as it is an attempt to exert our power, exhibit our power in a positive way, I would add, then that will bring some harvest to us. It may not bring the full harvest. You know, this wand might be sprouting golden leaves from it, but you wanted to grow an entire forest. So, you know, it's depends what scale you're wanting to work on. But if you wanted golden leaves, then you've got them. Now, I'm going to read out from Inside Degrees Sagittarius 16, because 15 degrees something is the 16th degree of Sagittarius. So it's a man sharing sheep, practical fortitude and resiliency to keep finding a way to do it, to keep discovering how to get through the deepest quandaries, the greatest karmic traps. Ingenious and resourceful, paying attention to the cues, going to get it right. You're involved within a path which requires discipleship or apprenticeship, learning the ropes, building up fresh capacity in this lifetime to scale the heights. But you remain preoccupied and absorbed within honest tasks. A pervasive conviction grows and forms of how it really is. You're willing to take every step to reach a far goal and attentive to what is really there. A throwback to the old ways of a rural past, oddly comfortable in adopting forms and moving through phases and taking on the worlds. The journeyman knows the ways of the journey and gathers Earth's wisdom in small bundles, knowing how to be there when it counts. So that packs a lot into it, especially considering the state of the world, the state of the economy, the state of America at the moment. And there was one other degree, the Azoth symbol, which was thoughts being exchanged by many people over great distances. So there is that wonderful sense of community, which is reinforced by that inside degree that I read out to start off with. Now, housekeeping, like I said, there's the Facebook group down below, page, sorry. But the important thing is that page has an inbox. So if you're wanting to approach me for a personal reading, feel free. That's one of the ways you can do it. There's also a Twitter down below. I would very much like if you would comment and give me feedback on the reading. I've been doing these Full Moon Gods at Play readings for a while, so I'll be interested to see what you actually think of them and what you think of the spread and the how it's all put together. And also I try and respond to all of the comments. Thank you very much for everyone who's commented so far, and everybody who has subscribed. I'm a young channel, I'm 8 months old, I think. I'm 8 months old now. And every subscriber helps. Your next reading obviously will be that Lunar Galactic download. This month I am still to do my starseed guidance. I've done, new thing, I've done Chinese zodiac readings this month as well. So I've done the 12 Western signs and the 12 Chinese signs, so that's well worth a look. Mars conjunct Neptune later on in the month, and the second Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, this time with Jupiter in retrograde. I'm not even sure if Pluto might be in retrograde. Yeah, it is. So both of those in retrograde this time, so that's towards the end of the month. I think that's everything. Now, as I said, you can ask a question before this reading. It's not really a spread that is designed to provide you with an answer like some of my other spreads are, but you can ask a question if you want. Take a moment, think about all the questions around you. You've heard me say this before. Pick one of them, focus on it. Be aware of all of them, because the cards will answer what they want. Right, that's it. So let me bring up the cards. Right, Cancer, there's an interesting period ahead for you. The warnings here seem to be about stubbornness and wrath. and also about fake information being brought to you. The stubbornness and wrath come from Baba Yaga here, and then Guabansex, I still don't know how to pronounce that one. I've tried to find out. Guabankex, Guabankex is a very powerful nature mother, but demands respect and is quite vociferous if she has not been respected. And I think with that stubbornness, that indicates that there's a trap. I think somebody may be getting on your bad side, and it may not be worth reacting to it. Because I also feel that there's a number of challenges that have been set forward to you that right now you don't have to do. And I believe that these challenges come from this information. We have Thoth and Metis, both with wisdom, both very wise gods. But remember, this top row is the gods trying to suppress you, the archontic masks of gods, so to speak. And at the very end, we have Hermes, the messenger god. So it's almost like there's some information that comes to you that goes, okay, yeah, this is where I need to go, and it's going to be a challenge. And no, it doesn't need to be a challenge. What the Gaia card here is saying is, no, you don't have to dive into that challenge right now. Stand back and wait and commit yourself to a path that will open up to you. We've got the Mirai with future here, and Pele with purpose. So if you haven't got a purpose as such at the moment, one will be revealed to you. Do not fall into the traps of basically reacting rather than acting. And these challenges that appear in front of you, maybe as a result of this news that comes to you, just question all of the information that comes to you one way or another. I mean, this wisdom is a theme for you here, because we also, the angel energy over this reading is the angel of wisdom. Wisdom comes from the depths of my experience, and that depths of experience is interesting because we have Prometheus at the very end here, who is cunning, created mankind, is wise, gave us fire, gave us metallurgy, and was chained to a rock for his transgressions, but later freed from that rock by Chiron, the healer, the wounded healer. So I feel like maybe there's some wound that is going to be brought to your attention that you could immediately react against. And I think the answer is more dive into the wound and try and sort it out with purpose to open up to the future. The other thing, we have Fomnak here, and I know I've pronounced that one wrong, with envy. Now Fomnak warns about trying to control other people, for one of the things that she warns about. That's the bit that really... you're getting angry with someone. You're getting angry as a result of information that comes to you. Whereas, because it seems to be playing off some form of wound, but that wound is being brought up to your attention to be healed. As shown by Prometheus, who was rescued by Chiron. As shown by his cunning, that you have to be smart. You know, you don't have to be wise, because wisdom is telling you that this is the path, but it's not. Here, this is not Thoth and Metis dealing with you. This is archons in the form of Thoth and Metis. So, you know, it's what you take as the established wisdom is not the way forward. And you don't have to face the challenges like Aphrodite offered to Psyche, whereas you can wait for the abundance to just simply bring your new path to you. But because your wound is triggered, there may be, like I say, there's the danger of wrath, but there's also the, hang on a minute, are you trying to control somebody because of the way that you're reacting? Which is never an easy question for any of us to answer, to be quite honest, because most of us can be quite unaware of our own control techniques. It's not until you sit back and look at them. So it's worth asking yourself the question: when you are reacting in anger against someone, are you trying to control them? And because you're reacting in anger to a certain extent is, of course you are, because you're trying to get them to shut up and stop saying what they're saying and to do something different. But that is trying to control them. So, you know, where's the fine line there? And I think that fine line will be brought up to your attention, and you gain better, how can I put it? I was going to say better traction, but that's not the right word. You gain more by going, hang on a minute, why am I reacting like this? Rather than actually reacting like that. Yes, because this, whatever this, lots of major arcana here. Lots of major arcana. Whatever this information that comes to you, it looks wonderful. And you've got to act on it now. Whatever you do, you must act on it now. No, you mustn't. It's a challenge that you can sit back and go, no, I've got my own harvest to work on, and I'm going to do this myself on my own because I want to step forward with what is right for me, not just what the consensus says is the right path for me. You've got great major arcana here. So the tarot working with you. So this news manifests challenges for you, and it tells you that you have the ability to overcome them all, and that you've got to do it now. Exactly what I said, you know, with the Hermes and the swiftness, that when this information comes through, you've got to do it now. We've got the Temperance card. But whoever it is that gives you that trigger, it is triggering what you hold dear, what you love. But you cannot trust the wisdom that is coming in. You're having to look inside and find your own emotional completion. Dedicate yourself to your own harvest by working mainly on your own. Once you have dived into the wound, once you dive into the wound, once you start saying, why am I reacting like this? Why is this fake path being offered to me? There is transformation. So we have Queen of Wands, Temperance, Ace of Cups, Hanged Man, Wheel of Fortune, Sun along the top row, King of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, Hermit, Hierophant, Judgment, and Ten of Pentacles. Those two Pentacle cards are the only two minor arcana. I don't like to call the court cards minor arcana. I mean, they're not major, but they're not minor. In this whole spread, this is a really important time for you. But as much as I hate to tell a Cancer to withdraw into their shell, I think I am telling you to withdraw slightly and go, okay, why am I reacting like that? How can I discover my own fire in this? And how can I be freed from the wound? How can I be freed by the wound? Which is the more important thing. If you think Prometheus was freed by Chiron, the wounded healer. So that wound is coming up to your attention for you to sort it out. You know, not for you to blast somebody out of existence, which is what Gwabankex can do. What was that? And not for you to so stubbornly stick to that reaction when the world's changing. That's what this Wheel of Fortune is telling me with the stubbornness. And I don't think that that any form of stubbornness will serve you right now. It is a gentle but dynamic time rather than a really, really active hard. It has not got, excuse me, it is a weeping willow flapping in the wind, in the breeze, not a battering ram swinging on a rope. Do you see what I mean? Soft, gentle, flowing, moving. We have Azazel. Azazel with divine comfort, and even the downside of that is a realm with quiet solitude. So yes, withdraw, but not into your shell, not totally on your own, but take some quiet time to heal and to see, hang on a minute, this, I'm tempted to say this wound comes from someone trying to control you. So then how is it that you react in a similar fashion? Well, the answer is because you've been taught that way. You know, it depends when that wound arrives. If it arrived as a child, then that's how you've learned to deal with that wound as well. But using the wound to going into the wound as a form of healing and as a form of moving forward, you will find purpose within that, which will lead to a transformation, which one would assume would hopefully be healing. And it sets you on such a wonderful, wonderful, firm foundation, 10 of Pentacles here, to move forward with what you feel spiritually is right. So I'm not talking, when I say feel spiritually, I'm not talking woo-woo. Well, I am, but I'm talking about what feels, yes, this is right and just, and no, that is, I do not want that stain on my soul. I don't want to do that. Whereas the other feelings that you will be having will be the feelings of the inner child, the feelings of the inner shadow. They're the ones that need the attention. There's the ones that need resolving and healing. And the world is going to open up opportunities for you to do exactly that. Gaia with the King of Cups here. Now, this is going to take quite a lot of thought, because I have Harahel here with intellectual richness. Interestingly, Arias with theft and destruction is what opposes him on this card number 59. So freedom and rebirth with 59. Oh yes, and I heard this morning that when it comes to astrological degree numerology, 5 is I think, which only just emphasizes what I was saying there. The theft and destruction goes two ways. The wound may be some form of theft and destruction visited upon you, but your wrath, your stubbornness, and your potential attempt to control somebody is a form of theft and destruction on them. So that's something to bear in mind, really. There's not a lot more I can say, but oh boy, will this lunar eclipse bring up some things for you to work with. But it also illuminates a very gentle but dynamic path out of that swamp. So dive into the swamp and climb back out the other side. Okay, so if this means anything to you, Cancer, comment down below, press the like and subscribe buttons on your way past if you would please, because it really does help. And thank you to everyone who's subscribed to me so far. See you in a day's time, hopefully, with the Lunar Galactic Download reading. Cheers.